Luminar Neo is getting another update, and in this video I'll give you a first look at what to expect from the new tools. An edit like this used to take me 10 to 15 minutes, but now I can do it in 10 seconds. And that expensive shallow depth of field lens that you've been saving for, well, with this update, perhaps you don't even need it. And one of the things I'm most excited about is a new feature that's been added that's actually going to change the way we edit pretty much every genre of photography. So let's jump into the portrait editing section. Straight away, you can see that we have a new tool here, which I will come to. But for now, let's stick with the portrait editing specific tools. Obviously, face light has always been there, so we'll just pop a little bit of brightness in there. But if we come into the skin AI section, this is where some really nice changes have been made. Of course, we have the face smoothing slider, which is going to really help to actually clean up our skin if we look at the before and after. But down here, you'll notice that we now have a blemish removal slider. And as I start to bump that up, look at the beautiful job and quick retouch that has done on the skin. That is absolutely incredible, just how quickly that can do that. And from my experiments so far, the results that we get from this version of the tool versus just the on-off that we used to have in Luminar Neo, the results just look so much more natural, so much more compelling. And of course, we can just dial this in to taste rather than just deciding whether we want it on or off. We might just say, you know what, I want to keep this a little more subtle and just set that somewhere around that 76% mark before and after. It really is doing a great job. Now, one other thing that has been improved is the shine removal feature. So if we look at the end of her nose here, you can see that it's picking up a very large bright specular highlight, often blowing out to pure white when you get these on your model. But with this shine removal slider, the AI targets that exact area. So again, you can actually pretty much remove it, which gives your model a much flatter appearance. However, if you want to kind of split the difference, keep a bit of that three-dimensionality, but also reduce that shine, you can set that slider exactly where you want it. So let's zoom in and look at the before and the after. It's given us a really nice professional skin cleanup with minimal fuss and minimal time investment. So if you do a lot of portrait edits, I really think you'll benefit from those skin AI improvements. Now, another tool that's had a really nice revamp is in the eyes section, and it is the dark circles removals. Watch this as I bump this amount up. Look under her eyes, how she starts off with dark skin under her eyes, and we're able to pretty much completely remove it, but do it in a way that keeps the texture underneath the eyes intact. So if I toggle the before and after of that effect, you can see with full intensity, it's getting rid of those dark circles, but it's still being authentic to the true skin texture underneath. So that's a really nice addition. Of course, we don't have to go with 100% of that effect. It's nice to know that we can just dial that in. And if we really want to crank that to the max, we absolutely can do. But, you know, a 50% amount is just a nice subtle reduction just to make her look a little more rested without the photo looking over processed. Okay, here's another example where we can quickly demonstrate that retouching ability by removing the dark circles underneath. So before and after, I really like what that's doing for us. And if we jump into the skin AI section as well, if she's got any blemishes, we can remove those. And this is one of the things I really like. If we look at the before and after, look at the mole on her cheek right there. It's not getting rid of that mole, but it's cleaning up the slight imperfections on her cheek here. Again, we have access to that shine removal. So this time, rather than it just being her nose that's affected, you can also see the highlights on her forehead and her cheek have also been minimized. I don't like to take that slider too high. I just like to use enough of that effect to push back those areas where the skin is going to pure white. We can then dial in a little bit of skin smoothing. So with those new tools and tool improvements, we've been able to very quickly take our photo from this and give her a quality face retouch. I've just done a quick develop raw on this photo, and it's going to be ideal for showing you yet another tool that's been added to the portrait collection. And that is within Skin AI. You may have spotted this in the last example, but we now also have a body smoothing slider. And that's using the same skin smoothing technology from the face smoothing tool and applying that within the body smoothing to any body skin areas that are visible. Now you may have noticed in this example that while the body smoothing tool has done a bit of a cleanup for us, it's far from perfect. And so that's where I was actually hoping that if I was to grab the blemish removal slider and bring that up, that would take care of those blemishes there on her skin, on her chest. But unfortunately not the case. The blemish removal tool is still dedicated only to blemishes on the face, but it's not taking care of the body. But that body smoothing slider is definitely helping us. It's just not doing everything. But what you can do, same as with any of Luminar Neo's tools, is we can actually double down using the same tool twice. So I can come back into the Skin AI tool, have a brand new instance of it, and apply body smoothing over the top of the smoothing that was already there. And then if I wanted to, I could just brush that in just over the area that was affected. So here's our before and our after. So while the body smoothing tool is a great automated addition, it's still got a little way to go, and I'll probably still be doing that cleanup with Luminar's manual tools. For sure, those portrait tools have had an excellent improvement, but it's this next tool, Bokeh AI, that just blew my mind, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So what is bokeh, and why is this tool so special? Well, bokeh is a Japanese word that describes the aesthetic quality of the background blur in your photos. Not the amount of blur, but whether or not that blur looks visually appealing. Because you can have a blurry background that's still busy and visually distracting, or you could have the holy grail of bokeh, which is buttery and dreamy. But usually that all comes down to the quality of our lens, our distance to our subject. But thanks to a very clever bit of software development, we can now do this inside Luminar. Let me show you. So we've got a lovely out of focus bokeh background here, but in fact, it didn't even exist. So let me reset this and I'll show you how easy it is to create. So within the portrait section, we just open up Bokeh AI, and it's as easy as grabbing this slider and boosting that up to add the amount of bokeh you want. So here's our before and our after. It's a very simple interface, but very powerful. Those of you familiar with the light depth tool will recognize this visual interpretation, which is our two-dimensional photo reinterpreted by the AI in three-dimensional space. It's really nice to see that they're using that technology in other ways that can benefit our photo editing. So before and after. One of the things that I really love is that this tool doesn't just apply to portraits, even though it's sat within the portrait editing section. Watch this. If I grab Bokeh AI again, the scene is reinterpreted. I'll grab the blur amount, and just like that, we've taken that really busy, distracting background and created a much more artistic interpretation of that scene. As we take a look at another example here, I really want you to take a look at the complexity of the depth map that is being created here. I love how the AI is interpreting a two-dimensional photo and creating three-dimensional data that we can use for our editing. It really is awesome. But the reason that I've chosen this particular photo is because we actually have specks of light in the background. So these windows here are going to let us explore the bokeh ball adjustments. So let's move over so we can see them clearly, and we can actually move this slider up and down so that we're actually increasing the amount of blur in the scene in the background. And now watch as I adjust my balls. So there we go. I've stretched my balls down a little bit there so they're not as round and perfect. At some point in my life, I'm hoping I'll grow up. Okay, focus, Anthony. But we can change the shapes here. So we can have this outlined circular amount here. We can change for a hexagonal look, or we can even go for a heart or a star look, which is a little random. But, you know, if you want to get creative and you're working on something Valentine's-y, you could absolutely do that. However, it's the blades of the diaphragm in our lens which actually produces the shape of the bokeh balls. And so I would recommend, if you're going for realism, you want to stick with probably one of these three here. Now, as we move on to our last example, I want to point out why this tool isn't as perfect as it may seem at first glance. You know, I always like to try and be balanced with my appraisal of these tools. And so while I am very excited at how we can take that distracting background and minimize just how much attention it's grabbing from our model, there are a couple of issues with this tool that you need to be aware of, which I'll come back to, and I'll come back with a solution as well. But now I want to move on to another change in this update that genuinely is going to change the way we edit most of our photos. Let me show you. So let me just come over and do a very quick enhancement on this using Accent AI. give the photo a little bit of a pop. Now let's suppose I want to bring a bit more attention to this path by adding some more structure, just so it leads our viewer's eye in here. If I put structure AI on, obviously that's going to affect the entire photo, so I need to mask that in only on the path. One of the quickest ways to do masking in Luminar Neo is to use Object Select AI, and that allows us to work through our scene and actually select areas that the AI has defined. So let's select the path right here, jump back out, and as you can see, we have a hard edge on this path. In fact, I'm going to do a different change so it's easier to see. Let's say I want to brighten it up, still control my highlights, and I'll use the same masking technique, Object Mask AI, come in and select that. Now, if I jump out of that, you can clearly see the edge of the mask, which is really not what we want at all. So I love the fact that we can speedily select things, but it's just so rough and ready. Well, here's something many of us have been asking for a long time. Feathering the mask. Watch this. Look, I can now soften that mask off so it bleeds beautifully off into the scene. And if we go to show the mask, you can see that without the feathering, it's that abrupt. And now we can just feather that off. So now with that mask feathering, we're able to bring in this local adjustment to our photo much more convincingly. And of course, we could go back to the Structure AI tool into the masking section and do the same there and just feather that in as well. So the speed at which we're able to now create these beautiful, soft, transitional masks in Luminar Neo, it's pretty exciting. Many of those portrait update tools are now available in the phone version of Luminar. So we've now got that blemish removal technology. We're able to slim down the face and relight the face as well. And definitely my favorite addition to the mobile app is the introduction of that Bokeh AI feature. So we have all of that inside the mobile, and of course we can cross-device sync. So you can start working on a photo on your mobile, and then that photo along with the edits will then be synchronized to your desktop version of Luminar, so you can carry on editing there. So it really is a nice workflow, what Skylum refers to as their ecosystem. Let's go over some pricing. So if you want to, you can take advantage of their spring upgrade promotion. Okay. If you're brand new to Luminar Neo and you want to grab the software now, you can get it on discount for just $119 US. It gives you full access to Luminar Neo on your desktop, including 1 year of their generative AI tools. If you'd also like to add Luminar to your mobile, including that cross-device editing, so you can go back and forth between your mobile and your desktop, that cross-device license is $159. And if you want to add in access to their creative library and digital assets, you can do all of that for $179 US. So if you like the look of Luminar for your editing, I've got a link to those discounted prices in the description below. Now, if you're an existing customer with an older version of Luminar and you've missed out on powerful tools like the restoration tool, the color transfer tool, etc., now could be a really good time to update your version of Luminar Neo, because you can get an upgrade pass that will bring it fully up to date with all of those tools. Plus you get access to the generative tools until the end of 2026. And of course, access to the spring upgrade forever. So you get all of that for $49. If you also want to add in the mobile access along with cross-device editing, you can do that for a $69 upgrade pass. Oof. That's a lot and it hurts my head. But one more really important point. If you just want to see the spring update in your version of Luminar Neo, you don't have to do anything. Skylum are actually shipping this to everybody as a free update, which I think is really, really awesome. So you might be thinking, well, why do I want that upgrade pass? So again, to reiterate, if you've missed out on previous upgrades, updates, all of those tools, and you're like, I really want to start using the restoration tool, whatever, then you can get one of those upgrade passes and that will bring you fully up to date. And you can also do that with the cross-device editing version if you want to add the mobile app as well. So it could still be worth taking advantage of this spring offer. Before we leave this video, I mentioned there are a couple of things that aren't quite perfect with the Bokeh AI tool. So let me show you what they are so you're fully in the loop. If I flick between the original and the Bokeh AI version, you can see we've got a nice soft masking blend. And if I zoom in here, you can see the digital noise of the original photo remains intact. However, if I reset this and I apply the Bokeh AI tool straight out of the box, you can see when I zoom in that this is not the case. We've got two issues going on here. The mask isn't as perfect as what you saw in my version, And also, we've now got a mismatch between the digital noise of the original versus the perfectly smooth background that the Bokeh AI tool has created. So if you'd like to see how you can actually fix that and do a little workaround, you need to join me in that video right there where I cover my workflow for getting around this little issue. Other than that, the tool's bloody awesome. You know me, I always like to find something that needs fixing. I'll see you in that video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.